which soft skills are most important? This is something that every person should be considering when they're trying to decide how they're going to invest in their teams. Now, soft skills are the skills that are about how people understand themselves, regulate themselves, and how they communicate and collaborate effectively with others. So these skills are crucial for whatever workplace you're in. And there are 3 skills that are most neglected in their development and the most effective in their execution when you get them right. These skills are going to transform any community, any company or organization where they're continuously, consistently being practiced and worked on. The first skill that I think any organization needs to be starting with is storytelling. We all know storytelling is incredibly important when we're marketing. We know that it resonates better with people, but it's just as important in our day-to-day practices. When we're talking to another person, when we're trying to teach another person, storytelling is probably the most effective way of allowing that person to engage in the material, apply it to themselves, and think about all sorts of other scenarios and variables that could be applied to that picture. Not only that, it builds rapport, it builds trust, and it doesn't sound condescending. A lot of the time when people who are inexperienced at teaching try to teach somebody something, the other person feels like they're micromanaged, they're being looked down upon. But instead, if you have a culture of storytelling, you're building rapport, and it's about understanding each other, not about a hierarchy or making sure someone's feeling like they're in this position they are in. On the flip side of that, we have to be practicing something called critical listening. This is the second most important soft skill to learn. I say this because most people don't even hear the terms critical listening in their lifetime. This is a combination of something that you might have heard of called active listening, which is engaging with the other person, mirroring their words and their language so that they're feeling like they're being heard, which is all important on the surface, but at the same time applying something that looks like critical thinking, so it transforms into something called critical listening when you're doing the two together. Critical listening allows you to evaluate. Does this material make sense? Is there evidence to back it up? What is it that is being said? Is the context and the meaning of it important? Or is this a standalone piece of information? What other variables are going to be affecting it? There's so many different ways you can think about a piece of information, but you need to decide. And the more you practice this activity of critical thinking as you listen, the faster it's going to be for your team to make effective, smooth decisions that are relevant. This is really important. And it allows you to have effective feedback between people efficiently. Instead of waiting 3 weeks for someone to review a document, they can just give you, oh, I can see these problems with this. Have you thought about addressing those? Because they've already done that thought process. Number 3 on the most important soft skills to learn. You need to be making sure that you have something called regulation. People need to be aware of themselves and how they're feeling. Lots of workplaces are incredibly stressful. There's a lot of deadlines, there's important things that are going on, and we are overwhelmed at times by what's going on. The problem with this is that sometimes we take it out on other people. We put extra pressure on them when it doesn't need to be in the room. We could even be making ourselves ill by trying to take on too much. So the third soft skill that I think is crucial in this communication isn't anything to do with anybody else, but a sense of self-regulation. Where am I? How can I control where I am so I'm in a better place to work? So I'm in a better place to be productive, and I'm in a better place to be a good team member and leader. Because these are the questions that come with self-regulation. How do I do that? Can I get there? And there are lots of practices of this. You can look at mindfulness, you can look at meditation. There's lots of ways you can go about learning this skill. But in a team or a company where people are unaware of their own emotional state, their own physical state, their own intellectual state, they're going to burn out. And that's going to be really bad for your productivity and really bad for the decisions that are being made. So those are the 3 most important soft skills that you should be thinking about having developed within your company and your company culture. Regardless of whatever your company does, these are the things that make teams incredible. So I hope you look at these and work out a way to make them work for you.